I have told people one of the first things is when you are in an abusive marriage, stop reproducing. When you are in an economic crunch where a partner is not working, where a spouse has not worked and refuses to work, it is not the time for reproduction. You are not the kind of people that God told to replenish the earth, because what are you going to do? When you give birth, it is for another person to train. You can't be burdening people with your children. People that can afford are not giving birth as much as you. How are you, everyone? It's fantastic to see you. Fantastic to see you. It's just awesome. I think I have one more minute to welcome my esteemed guest. It's been a very, very long topic I've been dealing with, which it has been traits to avoid while considering your choice for a spouse. There are 7, which I classified as the angry one, that is the hot-tempered one, the stingy, the malicious, the proud, the liar, that is those that lie, the jobless. Now we are on this jobless topic. I don't know how many listened to me last week on the radio, where several women called. There was a lady that called. She was just crying on air that, she wasted her life faring and taking care of a man who would use the money that she even got to give him to do something else. There's another lady who was paying her husband 200,000. The funny thing today was that both women came to my office today, so they met each other. So I said, woman who catered for a husband, who the husband used everything, meet woman who used to pay her husband 200,000. When she heard that, she screamed and they hugged each other so you are that woman. And when I look at these women, how they have come to their wits' end. The one who used to pay her husband salary, the husband, while she was at work, packed everything she had. Everything. And left. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot be with a man who does nothing. You cannot be with a man who you think has prospects. Prospects are intangible. You say because of the way he talks. Lots of people that are lazy have the gift of speech. They talk. While others are doing, they talk. So I'm always amazed when I say, why do you marry? He has prospects. He's intelligent. They are always intelligent. They know stuff. They hear stuff. But let them work. Is there something wrong with working? The Bible says he that does not work should not eat. My problem is how you would... Let me slow down. Jobless here, if you remember, is talking about the unemployed, the unemployable, and the lazy. The unemployed are those that probably have a skill or qualification or talent which makes them employable, but at the present time they don't have a job, but they are looking. Then you have the unemployable who don't have the qualification, skill, or talent to have a job. Some, they don't have the character to keep a job. Then you have the lazy, that is those that are unwilling to expend energy to work. Now, no relationship starts with unemployment, that the person starts and you see them trying to do one or two things. We know people who have borrowed cars to take you out. We know people who have borrowed clothes, who have borrowed money to take you on a dinner. And then you get married only to find out that his clothes were borrowed, his house, he squats with somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, always see what you want to marry. See them that they have a means of income. For the man, you cannot go and propose to a woman, bring her from her father's house where she's eating 3 square meals or even 2 square meals, and you bring her to a house that she cannot even eat one meal. Women are usually at the brunt of this. Women always suffer this, where the woman is the one working, fending for the family. They pay for this, pay for that, pay for this, pay for, they clothe the man, they feed the man, they feed the children, school fees, they're the ones paying, they are hustling, they are complaining that this load is too much. But the man, the lady was telling me today that her husband will say if she cannot subscribe DSTV Premium, that she shouldn't bother with DSTV subscription. I said, what? He said, yes. He says that he wants to watch football. So she will go and work so that she can just subscribe for DSTV Premium when the man is at home. I'm just wondering. Beware of lazy people, ladies and gentlemen. Lazy people. People expect lazy people to be those that are lying on a couch. The 21st century lazy person wears designer clothes. They have a job. The only issue is that they don't move from that position. They are too lazy to take initiative. They are too lazy to do the extra work. And when you join yourself with a lazy person, they are adverse to progress. Let me give you the definitions of a lazy person: unwilling to work or use energy. That is the definition of lazy. Not making any effort to do anything. Disinclined to activity or exertion. Avoiding work. Averse to work. Disinclined to activity. The lack of effort. I told you last week that you cannot be mistakenly lazy. Laziness is a character. It's an adjective. That means it describes a person. They talk, but one action speaks louder than 1,000 words. While others are doing, they are talking. Now, I want to talk about something today. This lazy topic. I pray that God gives me grace. This lazy topic has pushed me to talk about a class of people called simple. I have met a lot of people in this jobless section. Last week, an aunt introduced a lady to me who said God told her not to work, that she should go into full-time ministry. It's been over 10 years, the ministry has not started, but the aunt said I should talk to her. I said I can't talk to her. I said, how does she eat? They say she has a child. Where does she live? They said the family. That is her siblings. Got her a place to stay. She's either staying with this older sister, she'll stay with that one, with the daughter. I said, so how does she go around? The family gives her a monthly stipend. I said, that's the problem. Why would she work when she can easily get monthly stipends? At times when you are assisting people, you are assisting them to remain lazy. But by the time everybody leaves her, when she has nothing to eat, she would know that she would go and do something. But when you keep assisting them, When you keep giving them money, there are some people all the time, my wife just gave birth. And I'm saying, congratulations. She says, I'm just looking for money to do naming ceremony. I said, I did not join your sexual intercourse in giving birth to. Why I will have to sponsor a naming ceremony of a child that is not mine? It is your child. Name the child. I will drop money. You will do the naming. Am I going to be the one to name? Am I going to name the child? Is it the name I give it that you will call it or her? But I will be the one to pay for your naming ceremony. You keep reproducing in joblessness. I have told people one of the first things is when you are in an abusive marriage, stop reproducing. When you are in an economic crunch where a partner is not working, where a spouse has not worked and refuses to work, it is not the time for reproduction. You are not the kind of people that God told to replenish the earth, because what are you going to do? When you give birth, it is for another person to train. You can't be burdening people with your children. People that can afford are not giving birth as much as you. I met a woman with 9 children. I can't even imagine using 15 years to give birth to children every other year. How is it possible? And then you will give birth, this one, you will send the child to this one. You will give birth. I told her that she ought to have been arrested. Yes, she ought to have been arrested. Her entire situation is illegal. You cannot be, it is called forced labor. You are forcing other people to labor for you. It's not even, how can you be reproducing in poverty? Poverty is a call to work, not a call to reproduction. So I tell people not to help people who, it is not that they are poor, but they refuse to work. The worst are those that went to school. You give them a job, they say it is too small. It's just amazing. My dear people, never, you see, for those of you that are dating, see what the woman is doing, see what the man is doing. You see, the Bible says 2 heads are better than one. Why? Because when one falls, the other will be able to raise you. But woe to he who is alone. Now, woe to he who is alone, people think it means woe to you because you are single. No, it is woe to you who is alone in responsibility. Because when you fall, who can raise you? Your partner has no means to raise you. She doesn't have, so she would also be a spectator. You know, when they say a woman is a helpmeet, to help you. Now, to be able to help, you must have what to help with. If you can't help, then you are not a helpmeet. So for men who are going, a woman, all you see is, she's fine. Look at you, she has lovely breasts, she has a good shape. I don't see wife. Why? Because of what you can see. She has nothing to offer, no value, and you take that as a wife. Ladies and gentlemen, it means you are her source of income. Then it means nothing must happen to you. You know, kingdoms rise and falls. So nothing must just happen to you. When you lose your job, when you invest wrongly, when you buy something to sell and then an accident happens, who is there to help you? When there are times money doesn't come, and the children's school fees, who is there to help you? When you ought to, your friends are more of a helpmeet than your wife at home, you have a problem. People are saying a submissive wife, like Proverbs 31, a virtuous wife. When you read it, it tells you she wakes up in the morning to sell her merchandise. She knits. She's a textile worker. Do you understand? She has work. She sells. It says she considers a field and buys it with the works of her hands. You cannot be a virtuous woman and be jobless. It is not virtue. They will just remove the virtue away, so you'll be a jobless woman. She must have skill. talent or qualification. Not everybody goes to school, but she must be able to do something. Even if you meet her selling pure water, she's able to do something. You can invest in that pure water because she's been doing it. You have seen it. But women that have nothing, you just met them swinging on the road or met them at a place. So what do? Well, there is nothing you can see. And then some men will say, I invested 4 million, open supermarket for her. I don't see the money. How can you see the money? There was nothing to invest in. She had, what did you meet her doing? Nothing. You just thought, okay, let me open this small shop so she'll be buying and selling. Does she know how to buy and sell? Because you met her doing nothing but wearing good clothes. So you say, okay, let her start selling the clothes that she wears. You'll be surprised. She doesn't know how to do that. All she knows how to do is to wear them, not to buy and sell them. So you need to meet people that, because anything can happen. I kept, in 2020, over 4,000 people in the financial industry lost their jobs. That is in the banks all across Nigeria. Now, some were lucky because their wife could help till they got another job. A lot. There was a gentleman, I don't know if you remember, I said he lost his job. He couldn't come home to tell the wife. So every morning he would get up, dress up as if he's going to work, wear his suit and go, but he will go some street away to sit down with one of our people. He will be there, will sleep till, because he couldn't tell. She had nothing to do. All she had was her body. The body is the commodity she trades with. So if something goes wrong with you, all she has is her body to trade with, to help you stand. That is by offering that to, you say, it's like she's sleeping around. That was the only commodity. What did you marry? What did you get in the first place? Wasn't that what you married? The commodity was her looking good to attract men. And then you came along and you became her source of income. When she can no longer get income from you, she will go to another person, to another source. That is the problem. When you marry without value, women too look for value in the man. Don't use religion. I even want to go for religion now. Can you believe that in these cases of joblessness, that I just, I like people doing statistics for me. So I just ask them, okay, these are the cases. We interviewed some few of them. Please, what is the statistic of those that said God was the one that told them not to work? Ladies and gentlemen, 47% of jobless people blame it on God, that it was God that told them. One told, oh, I'm bringing somebody, please don't miss Saturday. It will blow your mind. Don't just miss Saturday on the radio program on Nigeria Info. We're importing them. We're bringing them. A lady told me in a long interview yesterday. She said they met a deeper life, all that. To date, you have to be meeting in the pastor's house. They were not in Lagos, but in there. And he just said that God told him that it is through CCTV, that is closed circuit television, that God will make him a millionaire. So that's what he deals in Lagos. So the woman said, okay, he had business card. She didn't really go to. So they got married, only to see that the gentleman's uncle owns a CCTV business. And it's like the gentleman was waiting for this guy to die that he would inherit the CCTV. I don't understand. But he was working with the uncle. He had no shop. He had not one single CCTV. He had nothing. But at times, the uncle calls him and, he now said God told him that it was through that CCTV business. My dear, he did not one kobo like this. When she even came to, only to find out that he did not even, all the business card he had, he printed a business card on another person's business. It's not your own business, so you printed the business card. and the business belongs to somebody else, you say that God told you that it is through that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was how she started having to struggle. She got pregnant. Then that same uncle wanted to help the man get a job. The man refused it because God told him that it is through that uncle's CCTV business. So she now took the job offer. The job offer was open to both of them. She now took the job offer and then started working. She was the one fending for the house. She was the one fending for him. Guess what? Through the business, she was able to save money, borrow money, and buy a house. That is, build one house like that. This man that will not work, but said God told him that it was through that particular means, so any other thing he refuses, now came to tell her that because it was his uncle, his family that gave her the job, then the proceeds of the job must come to him because it was his family that gave her. So the man took the house from her. He started living in it. She had to run out of the house because, he would beat her, drive the people out that it is his house.